Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the League of Inches podcast. Tuesday night, we said goodbye last week in terms of the regular season for this, but Supercoach is back. It's finals edition for the first time ever. Very, very excited about this. So there's plenty to discuss. Just in terms of an aftermath about what happened last weekend. A fantastic score for so many. If you were like us, you played with less players as well on the day, and seems to be some of the best scores all year. So give us round 27 more often, please. It was a cluster, you know what, but it seemed to have worked out and panned out quite nicely for a lot of us out there. Even though after I say my score, I actually went down in rank this week. It just shows you how good it was scoring wise, but very, very pumped. Before we get stuck too much more into Supercoach, just a quick apologies out there to everyone who was keen to and looking at their apps and stuff and wondering where their Sunday review show was. I was sick. I was sick as a dog, actually. So missed out on that. And then unfortunately, we sort of previewed it for you all last week and tempted you into it. Many of you were keen to listen to it. Our finals preview team by team in-depth review. We were supposed to hold it at Caxton Street Brewing Co. Fortunately, Monday was still very, very sick. Do not muck around with that hand, foot, and mouth stuff from the kids. It is dangerous stuff. And I was out of it, absolutely out of it. So we couldn't record it, unfortunately. So here we are today, and then tomorrow night for our review, finals week one preview show. We'll do something a bit more special, a bit more in depth, and we'll go through some stuff there for you guys. So be patient with us. Really do apologize once again for it, but hopefully we make up for it over the next couple of days with the podcast and the content that we've been putting out for you guys, even though that does mean Nathan Cleary is our player of the year. So that's gone down really well. Really love wearing that when people don't read how the votes actually happen. But hey, here we are. Boys, let's get into it. Jesse, how's things, mate?
Better. I'm much better now. Obviously, I missed out last week. I was crook. I had the influenza. It rocked me. It went through the family as well, so we're all good now, thankfully.
His podcast has copped it the last few weeks.
Oh, it's been shocking, man. I was in my deathbed too. Like, I was dead set, not feeling good. Trav was pretty helpful as far as what I should be doing as far as my health goes. So
based
he's
off
obviously
experience.
based off experience. He's been crook for a while, so he was telling me, get your tests done,
Everything.
go to the doctors, get your antibiotics. You don't have long. Just make sure you get it done as soon as possible. So I did, and thankfully it pretty much took me off for a bit over a week. But yeah, here we are. I'm feeling better. Family's better. I'm actually up in Sydney. Thank you. Yeah, got myself a haircut. Had a day off to do that.
It must be cold there still. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt up here now. It's that warm.
It's raining. It was a nice day. The last couple of days have actually been really good, and now just this afternoon it started raining. So I'm up in Sydney for a training thing for work, and they put me in a hotel. So I was trying to just get through the hotel Wi-Fi issues earlier, and everything seems to be coming good now. So while we're here and rolling, going pretty good. But yeah, look, Supercoach is finished as far as the regular season goes. It's a bit of a shame, really, isn't it? It's kind of bittersweet in a way, but now we've got finals, so it never really stops, which is good.
Yeah, and you boys have all your other bloody codes you're into at the moment. So I see all the chats going up about that at the moment. Shout out to the Legends group, which I thought was going to slow down in the off season. It looks like it's going to ramp up even more. Plenty of NFL talk, plenty of EPL talk, you name it. The betting chat's going off as well. So plenty of time to get in there, guys. $2.99 per month. Go in there, have a chat. Mate, the betting chat, not obviously gamble responsibly. It has been going off for a couple of weeks now. Fantastic to see. Talking about sickness, you're right, Jesse. Travis had almost everything. I managed to find probably the one thing he hasn't had so far, and obviously he just couldn't help me, but I fended for myself. Luckily, I had a great missus, so shout out to her. But the couch hasn't been good to sleep on to try and stay away from many people. I'll tell you that. But Trav, how you been?
Yeah, I'm feeling way better, man. I've still got this cough and the runny nose, but it's only been 10 weeks, exactly 10 weeks to the day I first got flu A. So yeah, 10 weeks. But unfortunately, as I said to Jesse, the experience is because I didn't catch the flu A quick enough. So I was out of that sort of protocol of 72 hours, which means the antibiotics doesn't do anything. So it just became a roll-on effect. So everybody out there, if you start feeling symptoms, go and get the triple test and just double check, because literally, like, Jesse's in Sydney, he's a good 12-hour drive away and he's got the flu. It's literally everywhere. It's shocking at the moment. But yeah, I'm at work. I'm doing all right. Yeah, keen for this. Supercoach is not finished, Jesse, so do not say those words.
No.
Supercoach has 4 more weeks, bro. 4 more weeks. And as you said,
Never
Joel,
sleeps.
Supercoach also has EPL, which I'm heavily in Jesse's private messages saying, sort me shit out, because I don't know who any of these people are. So I'm picking players based off what he tells me. And NFL Week 1 just finished today. So
Ronaldo's a good buy.
with yeah. So and then we're all hoping that the NBA jumps in with the Supercoach as well.
Mate, let's get into the points on the weekend. I did say it was a very high scoring round. The top score was ridiculous. We almost seen that 2,000 point mark crushed, which would have been incredible in the last week. But let's do this first, then we'll go to the golden intro results. But funnily enough, this week's loser. Speak up, Jesse.
Yep, it was me. You know, it was a good score, man. You know, compared to other rounds, I scored 1560 with 16 people. Which, you know, considering the lack of options that I had in the last round with everyone injured and, you know, rested and whatnot, I was actually pretty happy with it. I took the Teddy loop. I was on a Cleary captaincy, and naturally you're going to take a 130 odd point loop when you get one. So I took it. It cost me obviously the extra points that Cleary got, but, you know, one in the hand is better, I would say, in that kind of round. But all in all, at 1560, it saw me drop rank naturally with the fucking scores that happened, but I ended on 4,253, so my lowest to date, which not ideal. I ranked in the top 2% for the first time. Ended on a total score of 34,493. Obviously, you know, no trades, team value irrelevant, everything else that happened. So yeah, it wasn't a great end to the year, to be honest. Like pretty much from round 20 odd, I just kept seeing red every week. I don't think I got green from that point on. All my trades were absolutely rubbish. Everyone I brought in did shit all. Until the last round, there's a couple that went all right, but yeah, it was a tale of two halves really this season. It started off decent. I was rolling pretty well up until the buys, and then after the buys, just nothing really worked in my favor. But you know, decent enough. Draft went well. A Supercoach season in general was okay. But yeah, look, 4,253. It's not the worst rank in the world, but yeah, definitely want to improve on.
From where we were, though, it is a bit of a fall from all of us, to be fair. And we'll talk about this obviously at a later date, but look back at the drawing board and see where some of our decisions may have not been quite up to scratch, because the fall was a bit annoying, to be fair, because I feel like we've all had a pretty good side along the way. And it's just, this last 5 weeks, 6 weeks has been really hard, especially me and Trav not having trades for so long. Seeing so many brilliant options just float on by. Like, I literally am taking on this last 6 weeks with the hands behind my back, just like I just got to sit and just watch. I was next up, 1,611 this week. So one of my best scores of the year, quite obviously. I think one of my best scores in Supercoach as well, but I did it with 16 as well. I thought Royce Hunt was a guy that was just sitting there getting about 5 for me this week. He came about and just killed it. 2 tries in about 2 minutes. I couldn't believe it. I was like, hang on, could this be one of those Supercoach weeks? What are we doing? I VC loop Marky Mark, so I was big on him. It was a nice score. Like Jesse was saying, when I seen that score come through, I had the C originally on Lomax as well. So I did make the right decision in that part of things, because Marky Marks did score slightly more, but I was happy, and I'll take that. Cleary was never in my look. I was trying to go a bit different to you two to make up a considerable amount of ground. Charlie Geimer was under the post and then passed it with about 1 meter to go to the line to Junior Parlo. So that was awesome to see. And that just summed up my Supercoach 6 weeks, I reckon. So I'll take it. My season rank ended up being 4,995. So stayed in the 5K somehow. I'll take that. But man, where I was 6 weeks ago to now, I was 800th and something 6 weeks ago. To now be that. That's just
wow.
That
what was your total rank? Total points.
34,408.
Cool.
But yeah, there we go. That's how my season, my round 27 score finished. Trav, how was your week?
I got my best score all year with 16 players, 1,614. I saw Jesse and I knew that I had to get, I think it was 71 points I had to catch after my terrible week last week. For round 26. And so I knew I had to get that 71. I knew it was a no-brainer. He was going to loop that Teddy score because he was ahead. So he was always going to do it. So I didn't loop Teddy, and I pulled out the big balls and pulled up Nathan Cleary and just left the captain on him. And the message came through literally 2 minutes into the game. You've got some serious balls. You're taking the captain off. You've kept Cleary as the captain, wasn't it, Jesse?
Yep.
That was pretty much exactly what you said. And I
Pretty
said, "Yep,
much.
I've got to. I've literally got to. I've got to catch 71 points." And it worked out for me. Clear out a monster. So it was perfect. It ended up with, so 1,614. I was looking through, my second highest score was 1,555 in round 9. So this was by far the best score with one player down. So it was just enormous weekend. Enormous. Yeah. I mean, it helps that there was so many blowouts. So there's a no-brainer to that. So I ended up with my rank of 4,393. I dropped 69, the God's number. My total score, I'm just writing this down as we go. My total score was 34,476.
Far out, it was close.
So close between the three of us.
And it brings us to the almighty Golden Inch plaque, which we've played for the first time this year. To be fair, if we started this or we backdated it last year, it hurts even more because he's come out on top for the second year running. Firstly, I'll go up from the bottom up. I'll go bottom up. So it was me, finished third. Obviously, I think if you just got a good memory and you've just somehow calculated all we've just said, 34,480, me last. Trav, 34,476. Jesse's got to beat that score, which he has done. He's beaten it by... 17. Wow, it was close in the end. 17 points, 34,493. So between myself and Jesse, that's what, 85 points in the end. That's all it was between. That's ridiculous.
Nuts.
What a season it was. But Jesse, well done, mate.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, insane. When I saw the numbers of the three of us and I was watching it until the final rescore come through, I thought, bloody hell. 27 rounds, so many different players, so many different decisions all three of us have made, and to be within less than 100 points of each other, it's a hell of a season. Like, it probably won't happen that tight again, I would imagine. But yeah,
I wouldn't have been anywhere near you, Jesse, if TDS, Mr. De Silva, didn't have a monster 5 minutes. Man, what a freak that dude is.
That's the thing too.
Every bit of 150k para.
Yeah, going into that last game, I had I think I was up Gagai versus your Talon. And I was like, naturally, you would have to expect. And I think the way that the Eels are rolling right now, Talon will outscore Gagai. I'm confident with it. I put it in the group chat. Talon will outscore Gagai, and he did within about 2 minutes. So
didn't even come on insane. For like 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, insane game. But yeah, look, it's one to put on the shelf. I'll hang it proudly, and we'll see how we go next season.
Mate, all of us top 5K. I mean, at one point, both of you boys were top 1K, weren't you? Jesse, did you ever get to top 1K?
Yeah, my highest rank this season was 566.
Yeah. And and Joel, what was your highest? 800?
I think I was in the 800s. Maybe sniffed 7s. I don't know. I think it was 8.
And I was flying. I flew through the ranks right up until 4 weeks ago when I ran out of trades. And that was my best week. And so I got myself all the way into 2000th. And then, no trades just absolutely bombed me out. And then obviously all the suspensions and injuries and restings and things that's happened. It was just such an interesting year. And I've certainly learned a lot. It's interesting. We'll deep dive it.
It definitely is going to be very much keen to do a bit of a deep dive down the track at some point about it all and talk a bit more in depth when we have time to look through the teams, look through the trades, things like that. I still regret to this day the pod me and Jesse did, and he talked me into Wade Egan. But hey, that's all I've got. Mr. Sabotage himself was working well that day for one of my final trades of the year. Yeah, Wade Egan's a great choice. Yeah, thank you.
The one pod that I wasn't there to save your job. Sorry.
Yeah, but that is what it is. Again, at the end of the day, Jesse has been a marvel at this game for some time now. He showed it again this year, but I think it was a testament to all of us how close it was this year. And it shows you that the pod, what we're doing here, it's doing some great things. We had so many people throughout the year. The boys can attest to it, reach out every week and said, thanks for your tips, things like that. My team's doing so well. And even for the last 5 to 6 weeks, even though we've had no trades, most of the options we've spoken about have actually gone to plan. It's just been unfortunate we haven't been able to do anything, but we're glad that we can help a lot of you out there that are listening and have got you all up the ranks, which has been nice to watch, but at the same time, a bit painful. Just watching our guys just sitting still water, just flapping about with their floaties on. So some of them don't even have floaties on. They've just been drowning. It's just done. Shout out to the League of Inches overall comp as well. That was very tight throughout most of the year. We've always had some of the top players in this as well, which has been fantastic. We've always had consistently a couple in the top 15, top 20 overall, things like that. So that's been awesome. Shout out though to the winner, Craig, who is Dino Dances, 36,112, who actually beat second place James by only 12 points. So it was very, very close in the end, which was awesome to see. Top score of the week for the last one. Make sure you message the page. Goodness me, it was close. I'm Flexi and I know it. Jason, 1,892. Wowee. Message the page, get your your League of Inches Supercoach merch, plus get some break credit. Thank you to Break Lords. So there you go. Thank you very much. Pack Lords, sorry, not Break Lords, Pack Lords. I read Jesse's lips there. So thank you very much for the sponsorship this year, Pack Lords. Well, let's get into it, boys. It's finals time. It is finals time. Plenty to talk about. It's a very interesting competition. You look at it, you think, oh, wow. Before, like, the teams are named, things like that, like along the weekend, there was some moments where some players went down, teams sort of changed on the spot. Like, you're thinking at the start of last week has totally changed into this week, matchups, things like that. There's plenty to look into, which I'm going to allow you to nerd out basically and talk a lot more about this sort of stuff. What I'll say is just some of the basic rules for it is each week you get to change your team. It's not a set something this week and that's who you go with and you get one trade a week or something. It's literally you can change your entire team every week. This week, which will obviously change next week with less teams, but this week you're allowed 2 players per team in your lineup. So that's a max of 2 players from the same team. Apart from any other real basic rules, boys, am I missing anything? They're just seeing the 2 obvious ones. Oh, sorry, captaincy is worth double. Is it double? And then the vice captaincy is 1.5. Is that right? Jesse?
I'm actually not sure, to be honest with you. Cannot confirm.
We've done
but you obviously can't loop. That's the thing. Obviously can't loop. So there has to be a reason for the VC.
There's still flex.
Yes. Still flex. And no budgets, obviously, as well. There has been some positional changes too to some of the players. There's been dual positions removed off certain players.
Yeah. Can I jump in?
You may.
Sorry, Jesse. Keep going. Just keep that thought. So captain is triple points. And vice captain's double points.
There we go.
Cool. Yeah, wow. So yeah, just with the positions, it was pretty minor. I went through and there was a couple of players that I was looking at, like Aaron Clark, for example, is not a dual position in the final series. He's only a second row forward, so replicating off what he's actually been playing. It seems a bit more accurate to what we have seen throughout the season currently just gone, as opposed to the positions being set during preseason and getting duels added on for irrelevant players and that kind of stuff. So overall, it is pretty accurate. But yeah, it was just something to keep an eye on too, especially when you've only got a maximum of 2 per position per team. So
with the captain too, I don't from the way it reads, I don't think it matters if that the vice captain plays first either. So I think you just can pick whoever, and you get one double and one triple, and it doesn't matter when they play, as long as you can't go back, obviously, once they've started.
Yep. That's it.
Absolutely. Should we get into? So what we'll do? We'll start with this way. We'll start with the sort of positions. We've got a top 3 post coming out, which by the time you guys are listening, this is probably already out. If not, it's coming out Wednesdays, just to put time frames onto it. So we'll go from popular hooker spot down. It seems to be the popular choice, the go-to position in Supercoach. So hooker, our top 3 for week 1 at the moment, and it's can be up for debate. This is just in general. Not all of us have the same top 3, but this is sort of where I've worked out. Harry Grant, Blake Brayley, and Wade Egan. Jesse, talk to us. Your top 3. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so like Josh has got some really good numbers, and he puts it out there throughout the season each week with the updated averages on positional play and that kind of thing. He has done it for the final series as well, just based off a 1 week play per round as the finals roll through. And I had a look at the hookers first thing when they came through. Obviously, it's at the top of our list. And statistically, the best matchup this week is actually Connor Watson. Statistically, the worst matchup for a hooker this week is actually Blake Brayley, followed by Harry Grant. So 2 of the more popular, higher averaging, pedigree hookers that we've had, they are statistically, anyway, the worst options this week in particular. So if you do go off the stats and you're running off, who has been conceding the most points to hookers throughout the regular season, you'll be looking at Watson. If you are going off who has been the best hooker in general, you'll probably be rolling off a Blake Brayley play. And I think that's kind of where you have to differentiate. Like, is finals footy a different animal where you can kind of disregard a lot of the stats throughout the season and kind of put them to the side? Definitely consider them, but don't, use them as your gospel. So there has been a couple personally. Anyway, I'm actually enticed a little bit by, I am enticed by Watson. I did have him. Sorry, Joel.
I was just going to say one more point on, like, say Watson, and this will be a pattern of what we probably talk about all the next little bit of time. Like, Connor Watson could be right up there, but at the same time, because you only allowed 2 Roosters, you might have someone like Tedesco, and you might have Marky Mark, or you might have Sam Walker, and you got to start to juggle up. Is it worth having Connor Watson as my hooker, or is it worth going maybe someone slightly different who might not score me as much, but I get to go on 2 of the other players I'm really big on in the Sydney Roosters?
Yeah, 100%. And I'll get to him probably my 3rd option as well. But with that, you can only pick 2 players from a team. So if and again, it's hooker. We've said it all year. It's a pretty low upside position overall. And especially when you're limited to how many players you can have from a single team, it's kind of hard. Like Teddy and Mark are a great option. Is it worth not having one of them at the expense of having Watson in your side? I would probably say no. But even still, I do like him as an option as well. And the same with Grant. It's like, statistically, it's not a great matchup. There's a lot of good Storm players. You know what I mean? It's a hard one to try and put in there. It's almost like, at the moment, I don't have any Sharks players in my side at all throughout anywhere. So I'm like, that could be the position where you do run with one, because it's not going to affect your 2-player maximum. So I don't mind Blake Brayley for that. And I think just in general, he's done enough. He looks good enough. I have wanted him for so long and haven't been able to in Classic. This could be the avenue to get Blake Brayley as your hooker. He's not going to worry about minutes. His fitness is fantastic. Just in general. So I like the Blake Brayley play to run with on that side. I also am very intrigued by Billy Walters. Statistically, his matchup at 5'8", because that was what he's playing in the 6 at the moment, is the best this round. And he's out of position. He's a 5'8", obviously, in a hooker spot at the moment. The only problem is I really don't want to be taking up Billy Walters as one of my Broncos slots at the moment. And that's the same discussion you can have with all positions. So I would be saying at the moment, probably looking at a Brayley play first, with Watson and Grant naturally as the top 3 in my opinion. With Walters as a pretty good smoky if you did want an out of position 5'8" as your hooker.
Yep, love it, Trav.
I'll just give you some context. So Jesse's sort of said that really well. The hooker position, the Roosters hooker average is 66. So It's not a huge amount, but that's by far the best on the matchup. Next below that is the Panthers hooker at 63. Now, we're not starting Summerton because Kenny's just been dropped, so we're not going to go that way. But to further elaborate on what he was saying about the Sharks and the Storm, the Sharks are on the bottom with an average of 37. So essentially what it's saying is that the Roosters have been giving up 37. So the Sharks are only, on average going to be able to get 37 points, essentially. So that's where that Brayley comes in. Now, that's a big difference. 37 to 66 is huge. Now, this is pretty much on statistics. Now, this is one spot that I want to talk about really quickly that I don't want to play with. Statistically, Harry Grant going up against the Bulldogs is supposed to only be, getting 37 points on an average. I just can't see that happening. Harry Grant going into this first final Friday against the Bulldogs with all the talk about the Storm and the pressure being put on him. Like even me as a Storm fan, it's like he's walking into this one, and at the moment, Harry Grant shit can't stink in my eyes. Like that man's going to go fires and going to be ballistic on Friday, and he was my first pick. I'm picking him, and I'm ignoring those statistics because I have to look just off the eye test. I've got to look at the team list, and I've got to look at what's going to happen. And yeah, Harry Grant's going to be a monster on Friday because we need him to. So, we can look at the stats, and we're going to do it. And it actually has dictated a whole heap of other positions that I've got, but I'm picking Harry Grant.
Yeah, it's quite funny. We've gone against the stats on our own stats, first one, but you also got to go the eye test a bit here. And I think it's very obvious out there, majority who are playing Supercoach finals, Grant and Brayley are your top two targets into this one. So, and will be throughout the remainder of the week when everyone locks in their team. So I think that's pretty sweet for hookers, guys. I think we can move on quite happily. Front row forwards, the top three we've got Payne Haas, Lindsay Smith, and Joseph Tarpanay. So a couple of really nice averages there and a little smoky thrown in as well. But stats will tell you he's anything but a smoky. Trav, start us off with the front row forwards. What are you thinking?
Payne Haas is a no-brainer. Like he's averaging 87 across the year. He's matchup proof. He's an absolute freak. He's been huge for a long time, literally speaking and statistically for Supercoach. Payne Haas is an absolute no-brainer there. Just to go off the stats, Payne, they're in the middle of the pack for the Broncos, for the front row forward, it's at 52. At the top of the pack is Warriors with a 59. So, 4 positions away, it's only a 7-point average. The Raiders do defend the front row forward really well. So where the Raiders, it's a bit of this is a tough one. And again, another one that we're going to take off the eye. That I am, and most people will, because I reckon Payne Haas is probably going to be one of the most owned in that front row position. However, Jesse, you're probably going to talk about this in a second. There's some good options. I really like the Tarpany play. I look at the Broncos and just don't think defensively they're superior. And while some of the statistics talk about them, they do give up, and they have been prone to giving up points. They rely really heavily on their attack, like really heavily on outscoring teams. And recently that's what they've been able to do. It's a tough one, but I like the Tarpany one. And I also really like Lindsay Smith. And so the top three there is an average between the three of us. And I really like that play, and he's so underrated and has been really underrated all year, particularly in this sort of second half of the year, and a really good play. And to add to that, that's the third highest average they're in the green. So the Panthers are still in the green with a 55. So, Lindsay Smith is looking pretty good with his matchup.
You might not be able to tell me off the top of your head, either of you, but does Yo being back looking like he's going to be playing 80 minutes this week impact Lindsay Smith at all?
Not necessarily. It hasn't really bothered him this season.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't think so, considering they're different positions anyway. But look, it's Trav's pretty much said the point. Like Payne Haas is the ultimate no-brainer front row forward pick. Like he has been all season. There's very much, very little to read into as far as the final series goes. he was the first player in my side picked, and the most nailed one that I would say, and I think he's pretty much going to be like 90+% owned.
He'll be
As
the
far as it
highest
goes,
owned player for sure, I reckon,
I
this
think
week.
so. Comfortably, I think so as well. I think that's kind of where you have to kind of go against the grain and like anti-pod Haas if you're going to do that intentionally. I don't think anyone really outscores Haas this week. Even if you had the pick of the litter and you could choose anyone you wanted, which you can, I still feel like Haas is the best option. Again, I really like the Lindsay Smith play. We've mentioned him plenty of times, and I just think his average side of things has been really good. Plus, as well, if throwing Tarpany in there, he's coming off a rest too, and the Raiders just got whacked. So they're going to want to put a statement down, considering they just won the minor. You know what I mean? They're not going to want to roll over in the first week. So Tarpany's been solid. The Raiders have got something. They got more to prove than anyone, I would think. So I just think, in that position, front row forward, it's just Haas and then someone else, and you're kind of just choosing someone else to not have Haas. But I would say just get him. There's no reason to not.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where it's Canberra, Sunday afternoon, weather's going to be good. It's going to be sunny. It's not a wet pitch. Payne Haas is just going to go monstrous. And even if they lose, he's still just it's going to be off the back of him leading the way so that Reece Walsh can get everything. So, yeah, I think he's a pick and stick and just deal with it.
Yep.
Yeah, done. 2RF. We've got this position I reckon will be the most controversial. So we've got Isaiah Yeo, Eli Katoa, and Hudson Young. There is a couple of really good options. The player I've actually got at the moment isn't on this list, but not revealing my team at the moment. But Jesse, talk to us, because I know you don't like the top pick.
Yeah, look, it's not that I don't like Isaiah Yeo as a top pick. I think he's a fantastic top pick, and expecting him to play nearly 80 minutes or so, like most second rows, except he's a lock. He's going to get that base down. We know what Yeo does, and we know the appeal to him in general. And I think obviously now that they're coming into the finals in their position on the ladder as well, they don't have the luxury of slipping up. It's going to be quality from Penrith. It has to be quality from Penrith, and it leads from him. So I see him as a great pick. Honestly, I really do. I cannot knock a single thing around it. It's just, is it an exciting one? No. Is Yeo ever an exciting second row pick? Probably not, considering other options, but he's not a bad pick by any means. So I think, as a safety first play, 100%, he looks great. As far as it goes for me personally, I don't have him on my list at all. I've got Eli Katoa as my number one. He has been my number one second row forward all season, just in general. I think his matchup is really good. I think, where is it statistically on the list? I think it's actually one of the best.
Third.
Yeah, well, there you go. Third for second row forwards. And that's across both left and right, because Josh does like to split the positions left to right, which is really handy. But even still, Eli Katoa is fantastic. He's coming off a massive game too. He scored, 116 on points, try and something else. So yeah, he's always done well. He's my number one. He's in my side. Eli Katoa is my second row, and it's hard too. Like, we've been used to having 6, playing 3 each week. It's like, how hard is it to pick one as the main matchup? As far as a 2 and a 3 go, I've actually gone with Scott Sorensen as my second option personally. Again, based off stats, based off Penrith, based off its Scotty season, I just want to see something big happen there. They have the clear standout matchup. Scott Sorensen on his edge against, I'm not actually, who's his opposing forward? Off the top of my head, I can't recall. But statistically, anyway, as we've been speaking, he has the best matchup. So, and I do like it. I think it's worth a shout, especially as a pod play, because he's not going to be very highly owned. And number 3, I've got Jacob Preston.
You've had something about Penrith edge forwards all year, and it started from preseason with your iPad, and it's just carried all the way through the year. You've wanted to find a piece of the Penrith edge all season.
Yeah, and it hasn't been very good. But how good's iPad been lately, though? How good has he been? Fantastic. So, they're rolling in the right time of the year. So, yeah. And look, if I just keep going with my number 3, it's Jacob Preston. Jacob Preston's fantastic as a player. His attacking output is really, really good, solid. Again, if I weighed him up against Katoa as an option this week, I probably wouldn't take that, considering they play each other. I would always go for Katoa. But again, man, you're blessed. There's a wealth of options at the moment. So, yeah, it's a hard one. Very hard one to pick.
Yep. It is. Trav, anything to add to this list?
So here's a funny one. So technically, the best matchup this weekend is actually near Cora from the Waz.
Yeah, I'm not considering that.
with an average of 85 off the left edge. So off the right 2RF. So whoever's got the balls to put near Cora in your 2RF this weekend, the statistics is saying that's where the most points is. Comes after that, it's the Storm with 71 average. Then after that, it's the Waz right. It's the Panthers 72. After that, it's the Storm 71. Then it's the Bulldogs right, which is Preston with a 68. So that's just particular stats for you. I did play around, and Joel maybe might want to put something out there around based off the best stats team that you can put out there. That's a bit of a laugh. But as soon as I looked at it, as soon as I completed, I went, hell no, and changed it. I'm sitting there with Preston in mind at the moment, just because of how I've had to and where I've put other players. I can't have Katoa because I've got a little sneaky pick and Grant for the Storm. And I'm not sold on Young this weekend. So I'm not going to go there. So at the moment I'm with Preston, and I'm pretty locked in on that this weekend.
Stop revealing your team. We're getting there as well. Stop giving away what we're doing. Halfback. This is the one that, just to let everyone know behind the scenes, I asked the boys for a bit of a list a couple of days ago, and Trav got back to me with this position and said Cleary times 3, basically. So that shows you where his mind is at, and I think that shows you where a lot of super coaches are at. But now we've gone through, we've seen the stats, we've done a bit of a list. The list we've got for you, the top 3. Nathan Cleary tops it. Fogarty's next, goal kicking on a Sunday afternoon at a packed out Canberra Raiders stadium. And Wishart, which I don't know. I don't know about that pick personally, but let's go Trav first. Talk to us about the list.
No, my list is Cleary and only Cleary. And I've slapped the captain on him, and I'm going Cleary. There's a no bloody brainer. If the Penrith Panthers are going to win this game, it's off the back of Nathan Cleary absolutely dominating and setting up that team, and Isaiah Yeo with the first push, and Cleary being that first receiver and setting everything up. So that's my thoughts. That's where it's at. This is one of those ones I don't want to think about. I don't like Hines against the Roosters. I don't particularly like Fogarty against the Broncos. I definitely don't like Wishart or Pezzett, because I don't think Wishart's going to play enough minutes for my liking to go there. Who else is there?
Sam Walker.
And Sam Walker. Now, I do like Sam Walker, but I can't fit him in.
Yeah, that's the issue, really, isn't it? It's who are you playing over Cleary? I think Cleary is the clear option. He's the Cleary option. He's the captain choice. He's got a great matchup too. Look, as far as they go, they're playing the Warriors. Like, if you're going to want to play anyone in this first round, I'd say you probably want to play the Warriors, especially with Cleary's pedigree. It's so easy. It's an easy no-brainer choice. You're picking against him, same as Haas. You know what I mean? And you do want to differentiate here and there too. I just don't think this is the position to do it. I did have Fogarty on there as well in my the list of 3, and I had Wishart. I just think he's a crafty player and he can do some stuff, especially if Storm want to get a roll on. You can always find Wishart just popping up doing something nuts. But the more I think about it, the more I like Sam Walker as the next best option to Cleary. I just think their attack is elite. I'd say their attack's probably second to none at the moment. I would back the Roosters to outscore almost anyone. And for that reason, he would be a close second for me. But even still, for what Trav just said, you just can't fit him in. And it's probably half the issue that we've had with halves in general this season. It's Cleary and then a bit of a daylight gap. And then I would say personally probably go to Sam Walker now, thinking about it. Just not really. The other ones just aren't really screaming out to me as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And statistically, Sam Walker is actually the second worst ranked, so at 47 for the Sharks. So, like, I don't like that. And one thing that the Sharks do well is defend through that middle for their halves. So whilst I love Sam Walker, I can't go. This one's one where I'm looking at the stats thinking, I can't go past that one.
Yeah, I think what we're looking at so far is there's two positions to not really mess with this week. Prop, Payne Haas, halfback, Nathan Cleary. Don't try and go away from the pack. Join in, link arms, and we'll go all in with halfback and props, and then let the rest separate us all. 5'8", we've got Cameron Munster, Ethan Strange, and Blaze Talangi. Jesse, talk to us.
Look, Munster is, I'd say he's the number one option in 5'8". Funnily enough, he's actually not in my side because I just can't fit him in. But I like him the most out of everyone. It's the 5'8" position's a bit of a tricky one. There's a couple of players that I like. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of an odd one. Like Ethan Strange is a great player to choose from. Lockie Galvin, again, playing half. He's playing against Melbourne, so it's a bit of a tricky one, but he scores well, Supercoach wise, let alone what he's done, in the real game. Blaze Talangi, for all the reasons we spoke about why Cleary is a good matchup too. I think Blaze is, in good form. He's rolling well. It's hard. It's hard to fit all these teams in, if you've already got someone else in it. I think 5'8" is a position you could probably allow yourself a bit of wiggle room and not take down like an elite position from a certain team. Unfortunately, I just think Munster is a great option. We'll get into the centers and we'll go from there, and I'll tell you why I can't fit him in there if that's going to be the way I go about it. I might do some shuffling, but I think, it's one that I have not absolutely set myself on yet. Positionally, I think as far as they go, you can basically pick anyone, and I don't think there's going to be too much in it between Munster, Galvin, Blaze. I don't fancy Burton too much. Again, if you're going to go Wishart, you're going to go Munster because he does have that duel. It's just not worth it. Yeah. Look, I'm kind of talking in circles, to be honest, because 5'8's a position that I've been so uncertain about choosing. And it kind of just falls down to the last player in my side and who can I actually fit in my team.
I love the Munster pick for sure. And again, like it's pretty much word for word what I said about Harry Grant. For Melbourne to be in this game, it's got to be off the back of Cameron Munster. It's why when Pappenhausen went down, there was absolutely no chatter about putting Munster at fullback like the experiment a few weeks ago and having Wishart and Pezzett. Like he needs the ball in his hands in the middle of the field, setting up the line and kicking. And his kick game is important. Munster's going to have a huge one, but give me Ethan Strange all day long against that matchup. He's got the best average. The Broncos, very keen. Love what I think Strange is going to do on a Sunday afternoon.
I'm loving Munster. I am loving the fact that they are battered up against a wall at the moment, and I think that means and screams Cameron Munster to come on down, lead this Melbourne Storm side, and I think he will do just that. I'm very much anticipating a really big Supercoach game from Cameron Munster on the weekend. Centre wing, CT Dub. Our top three, Mark Nwanga, Nitawazi. Give you the respect and say your full name, brother. You absolutely deserve it the season you're having. Goodness me. What an absolute freak. Nick Meaney, and he's back. He's back after a massive boozy week. Gemet Shibasaki from the Brisbane Broncos. Trav, talk to us, because I think some of these names might surprise a few.
It is, yeah. Like it's not your sexy picks that we've been playing with all year in terms of your superstars, other than Nwanga near Tiowa, we sell was But
well done, Buzz. Well done. That was brilliantly said.
I love my Mark.
Just also say before we get stuck in this too much more, this is a list at the moment because Kraz isn't named as well. We've sort of got to play that by how the team lists are. Kraz is on the extended bench at this stage, and there is rumours of him playing, but we've got to do this list going off what the team lists are.
Yeah. Love Marky Mark. I think he's a given for scores. He's obviously a given for tries up against a good matchup of the Sharks. Yeah, I think it's a given what he can do. That left edge that he is on coming up against the Sharks is actually the toughest wing to score against for the Sharks. So it's going to be interesting, but I think that the high ball that he and Tupou presents, just the offensive power that he's got, I really like it. I've put Meaney at second, and I think that's on me. I'm not sure, Jesse, where you were at with that. But I put Meaney at second, and I did that because he's the fullback. And playing in fullback, Nick Meaney is a whole different beast. And I a wing label for a fullbacker who's got a center wing label, just and really like that matchup with that. And then Shibasaki. So Shibasaki's having a really good year, having almost a Dally M center of the competition year. Statistically, I've got him in there because by far and above, that left center that he plays off is easily the best average score with an 87. So I've got him there because that statistic just screams massive. Unfortunately, and you can't. That's one that you can't leave out, and it really makes you have to consider, because if you think, and I'll just go through this, and then Jesse, you can jump in. But the highest average for centers is 58. For the right center is 58. The right wing is 68. The left wing is 70, and then Broncos there with the right left center is 87. It's 17 points as a highest average. That just screams some points, and that's hard to ignore. So that's why he's sitting there at that third spot, because he's sitting in that role.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've got the same. I've got actually Meaney as my number one, and he is my centre wing. That's why I couldn't fit Munster in there. And it's basically when you get your opportunity to get a goal-kicking fullback from Melbourne in your centre wing, with a fullback slot and a flex to still get more fullbacks. I really like it. And, anyone that got on Meaney when Pap got injured with his little calf strain that lingered on for a few weeks, they got some really good points out of him. Like, what Meaney does at fullback, he scores really well. Plus, again, goal kicking added in as the perk. Whatever you expect to happen out of him, it's just a bonus to have someone like that in your centres. So, if it was regular Supercoach, people would be flocking to him again, knowing that he's going to be in that position long term. So exactly the same thing. For that reason, I think he's my number one. Shibasaki, again, the numbers do not lie as far as that goes. He did get stood down. He messed up. He's probably going to want to come back and prove himself a little bit more as well. So look, it's going to be a good game from him, I would say. And I think just going off Shibasaki's season, he hasn't let anyone down at all. Like I can't think of the last time he put up a bad score in general. Mark is an intriguing one because obviously we saw what he can do and how good he has been. It really depends on which side the Roosters go, and you're banking on him going to him. And I would say they do. Like, he's up against Mulatalo and Kyle Ero. It's a harder edge, especially with Ero defensively, but Mulatalo is not a bad one for him. But realistically, the Roosters are pretty clever when it comes to utilizing Tupou, especially when it's on the other side. So I would say, almost personally, I would think that this particular matchup, I would be favouring Tupou over Mark, just for what the Roosters are probably going to do, not what I want them to do. But it's a hard one. Those two are so good interchangeably. It's just, you see it all the time with those guys. It's either one or the other. You very rarely get one of them just blowing the other guy out of the park. And then if Walker is having a left, favoured game, it's all Tupou at that point. So, yeah, choosing Mark could be 150 points or it could be 40 again. I just think with what Meaney can possibly do at fullback with added goal kicking and everything else he's got, he looks fantastic. Hard position.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because Mark, 7 tries in 2 weeks now? They've got to start to – you'd think that starts to even out, but or does it just keep going? Like, he's a freak. Like, we're seeing stuff from them at the moment from him that we haven't seen before. Like, it's actually ridiculous, some of the things he's doing. Now it's on a regular basis as well. It's not just a fluke thing with him. It's literally this is how he plays. This is what he does. And it's like the last week or two, Sam Walker's finally decided and realized, hang on, I've got this freak that I can actually go to. And he's actually started to go to him. a bit more, where when he first came back, it was mostly Tupou and things like that. So there is a lot of really cool options in CTW this week, and I'm really keen to see how teams attack it, because there is some options where you can really try and just go all out for attack. Like someone like Coates, who we haven't even spoken about yet, he could score a hat trick or something on the weekend, and all of a sudden he has one of those big games that he gets. If Karaz comes back, he could be a goer. To'o's Mr. Consistent, but we're talking about the Warriors maybe being that easy team to beat this week. Who's to say, on top of the work that he gets through, he might be able to get 2 or 3 tries on the weekend? Like, there is a couple of really good options out there that I haven't. This is probably one of the only positions at the moment in my team I haven't got locked down, because there's a few really tempting me. And I think it'd be really fun in this aspect of the game. Like, I'm treating this next 4 weeks as just a bit of fun. Like, put a team in, have some fun with it. Not stressing like I was with the regular season stuff. So I want to go someone pretty fun, I feel like.
Well, I thought I was doing that with Meaty, and then Jesse's just said that he's got him in there. So now I'm like, bloody hell. But I'm looking at this, like, center wing is the hardest one, because there's some really nice names, but the matchups are tough. Like, you've got, and we're not sure. So Karaz, we're not sure, has an average of 76. Marky Mark has a tough matchup, but we know he's a freak, but he averages 75. KL Ero's back is back with a 72, but he's only coming off a couple of matches. RTS is not spoken about with a 68 average. Casey McLean has been huge in the last 10 weeks, has a 66 average overall. Shibasaki's been great all year with a 66. Katoni Staggs is playing well as another one with a 65. You mentioned Coates. I'm glad you did, because he could do anything this weekend, because literally they're going to go to him over and over and over again if the Storm are going to have any chance. Then you've got like Mulatalo, who can pop up like he did a couple of weeks ago and last week with 150. Like,
even Carapani,
what does Stephen Crichton go and do this weekend? Because he has to carry that Bulldogs team on the back of his list. And then, as you very well said, Brian Toto has not played for a few weeks. What does he do? Like, it's bloody hard. And then, Jesse, you're going to talk about Carapani. It's like, center wing's freaking hard. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I love it.
Yeah, it's that position that I think what we expect is not what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, you just mentioned every single player. You can go down this list and you can look at someone like Paul Alamotti putting up 130 points. No one even talking about him. Like, I think it's going to be one of those sort of positions. And anyone that's got the balls to just take a massive punt and just kind of go against it and be like, I just think this guy's a smoky and he's going to do something big. They're the ones that I reckon are going to get rewarded. I really don't think it's going to be as straightforward as what we're talking about. I think it's just going to be an absolute blinder from some random position that we haven't really mentioned at all. Like always in center wing. So
shout out to you, Sebastian Chris, on your 200 score on the weekend. So
yeah, there's one.
Good luck to those that captain him. Fullback, and we talk about fun. We talk about the Ferraris getting let out of the garage. I feel like this could be one of those weeks we talk about when it comes to fullbacks. They've been warming up over the last few weeks. They've been on fire. It's fair to say that there'll be many people picking 2 of these this week, because I'll have one of them in their flex. Maybe 3 with a lot of people out there going Nick Meaney as well. But for our top 3 this week, it's James Tedesco, Reece Walsh, and Dylan Edwards. And it's fair to say all 3 have had some absolute cracking scores over the last 6 or so weeks. There's been some really good ones in there by all 3 of them. Walsh is on an absolute tear at the moment. Teddy's a freak. Teddy gets it done more often than not in this Supercoach game. And Edwards has been ultra consistent. A few errors in his game at the moment, but he's against the probably pick of the games this week from a Supercoach point of view. So plenty of options to talk about here, boys. It's going to fire up.
Yeah, I think so. And I think this is kind of where we can kind of lump 2 of them in, because we got the flex as well. And I like to obviously, maximize the output potential with 2 fullbacks. So you can kind of roll 2 into it. Tedesco and Walsh, to me, they kind of look like it. It's depending on what Walsh's supposed injury looks like. I don't know. There's a bit of talk about this and that. And he's
already
got a bit
been
of a niggle. Yeah, I think if it's nothing, it's probably just a nothing thing anyway. They're the form fullbacks. I think it's a bit easy. Like, Walsh freaking averaging 150 over the last month, just unbelievable. I don't think there's a world where you don't get Walsh in. just off how good he's been. And Tedesco is like ever consistent in general anyway. So the flex and fullback were kind of the easiest ones. I've just gone Teddy and Walsh, and just not thought about it too much. I don't mind Edwards too. Like I do like the matchup for him, but again, his game has just been a bit off. Just seems to have a bit too many errors in him at the moment, and he just doesn't look right. You know, you see him after he does an error, and he just goes, "No, fuck, I've done it again." It's like he knows he's in his head. So like it's just, I don't know. There's something off about it, and it's had I had the trades to get rid of him in regular Supercoach, I probably would have gone to Walsh in general as well at that point. But yeah, looking at the two form guys, they're the ones. I think it's quite easy, to be fair.
Trev?
Well, statistically, the Bulldogs fullback is miles above any position in this setting with an average of 93. So Jesse, it might not be as easy as you think, mate.
Look, it might not be, but are you going to choose Connor Tracy?
it's a comfortable 6 points better average because 87 is the left center. Which is why we picked Shibasaki. No, I'm definitely not picking Connor Tracy against the Storm this weekend. And I'm sure as hell not picking Will Kennedy either. And I'm definitely not picking C&K. I'm not picking Kaya Weeks. And I love the choice of Reece Walsh because I just think over the last few weeks and looking at that and looking at the team list, I think the ball still, and the way that they've been playing, I think the ball's still got to be all over Reece Walsh. Like the Brisbane Broncos is dictated by Reece Walsh. It just simply has to be. Just the way that they've played, Madge has to look at it and think, why have we played so well to end the year? It's because Reece Walsh has pretty much done it all. So he's my number one pick. I don't like Dylan Edwards this weekend. And you summed it up really well, Jesse, exactly what I was thinking. I just haven't liked what he's done. Like, okay, so he got 200 odd meters last week and had the carries and things, but there's just no damage in him. It looks like he's, carrying some more injuries. He's looking a little bit fragile, mentally and physically. And look, he might come out and brain it and he's just been waiting for this moment, but I don't like the way that and what I've looked at and what I've seen. I just think this week it's a no-brainer. It's got to be a Teddy and a Walsh combination. Leave it be.
Could even be that combination throughout the entire series, to be fair.
Almost, at least for the first 2 to 3 weeks.
Yep.
I agree. Let's go to our team reveals here, boys. Obviously this is very likely to change. Again, we will just let all the legends know of any changes that we do make for these teams. But I'll go first. So I've got Harry Grant as my hooker, Payne Haas as my front row, Aaron Clark is my 2RF. We didn't actually speak much about him. I actually anticipate him in a game that I really think Warriors will struggle. I think he'll just do everything. I think he'll be one of those those Bulldogs just go everywhere. They'll just be all everywhere on the field. He'll do everything he can to try and get the Warriors home. So I like the sort of score that he's going to be putting up. Nathan Cleary, and I've got we'll wait for the season VC shouts after this. Cameron Munster, Mark Nwanganitawazi, James Tedesco, my fullback, and Reece Walsh, who I've loved to watch, is my flex. And I'm just going to predict it now. Watch Walsh now get about a 20 with everyone jumping on him. It's just going to be one of those things that happen. That's my team. My team there, boys. Don't copy me, but yeah.
Sure. I'll go, and then Jesse, you can go up and save the best looking one for last. Harry
first.
Grant, I've got, unfortunately, no, Joel, that's why we put you there so that we could forget about you after Jesse finishes. Harry Grant at hooker, Payne Haas front row, second row, I've got Preston, halfback, it's Cleary, 5'8", I've gone Strange, centers wing, I've gone Meaney, fullback Teddy, flex Walsh.
Nice. Captain's VCs or doing that last?
After.
Last. So I've got Brayley as my hooker, subject to change potentially, but it's team dependent. I've got Haas in my front row. I've got Eli Katoa in my 2RF. My halfback in combination, 5'8" combination of Cleary and Blaze. I've gone with both of them. So Blaze and Cleary in the halves. I've got Meaney at center. Fullback, I've got Teddy and Walsh as my flex.
There we go. Nice little bit of mix up from all three of us, which is nice.
Mm.
The big thing, which could turn, obviously, 3 times captain, 2 times your VC. Where are we looking in? I'll let Jesse go first this time.
I'm going to go Captain Cleary and a VC on Teddy.
Trav?
I've got the VC on Walsh and Cleary captain.
Yeah, I've gone the Jesse option, C, Cleary, VC, Tedesco. I think that'll be probably the most popular choice of the weekend. That's it. That's all she wrote for this one. Finals week 1 of the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This will probably get quicker and quicker as we go because there'll be less teams, less games to talk about. But I'm so excited to see actually how this week goes. I'm genuinely keen to see the scores, things like that. And just how it all works, like just the differing teams, and be in the chats with us. Let us know your team, stuff like that. Get the chat around. Love it. Again, shout out to both the sponsors, Caxton Street Brewing Company and Connaught Freedom Finance Group. Links are in the descriptions. If you need any help financially, please contact Con and let them know that we sent you. But thank you, boys. Again, congratulations to Jesse on the overall win. Out of 3 of us, the golden inch will be heading your way over the next couple of days. Look after it. We'll take one of us will be taking it off you at the end of next year. I can guarantee it now. Good night, everyone. Please hit that like, subscribe button. I appreciate the content that's coming out this time of year. Good luck to all 4 teams, all 8 teams on the weekend, and goodbye.